I was at a very low ebb, and I recognized it even outside. I went to a local mental health clinic, and I told them, I said, listen, I'm an addict, I'm on parole, I want to quit, please help me. And the person that interviewed me said, well, I'm very sorry, I can appreciate your trouble, your problem, but we don't have any groups right now that you would fit into. So why don't you check back with us later? Well, I think it was less than a month, I was in prison for first-degree murder. And after 29 years of struggling within the system, I just kind of got to the point to where I didn't care about me and I didn't care about anything or anybody else. I think maybe if I had found a sympathetic ear, the person I killed would still be alive, and this last 10 years of my life would have been spent differently.
Some good little boys, they don't act that way. So listen carefully if you want to grow up and have the whole world like you. Be a good boy. Those bad boys get put away in the corner, and they take away all their toys. I will be good. I won't stay up at night, won't fuss or fight. I'll do all the things I should. I will be good. I'll take back as many you said. That is bad. I can be good.
The story about to unfold concerns the role of art in giving new direction and hope to men and women behind bars.
Life here is quite empty. No, it isn't empty. It's filled with violence and corruption and ugliness. And the empty places where the ugliness doesn't penetrate, those are the places that I feel art can penetrate. So if we can find a place where a man doesn't have his defenses up, we can kind of seep in there with something very good and very vital and profoundly affecting.
Okay, basically when a man comes to prison, he's put in a position where society has considered him dangerous. So they lock you away, and if you don't do something creative, eventually you find yourself and you don't grow.
And if they had a lot more things around here to do, people could find things that they like to do, they might keep their mind occupied a little bit and they wouldn't have to go do other things to get themselves more time and shit. And here you end up picking up more time because you ain't got nothing to do. I found something I like to do. It took me 3 months to get in here to do it, but I'm having fun while I'm doing it.
Somebody manning the reduction material with a wad of stuff to charge these buckets because it's easier. Yeah, you can't put your... So you all need a partner to work your bucket. There's plenty of guys here to do that.
Question, since they're gonna be going this way, shouldn't we have this brick on the other side for that?
Yeah, you're right. And we probably ought to have these guys over on this side too. We can go ahead and move.
You're not tense when you're down there doing something with your mind and your hands creating. You haven't got the time to think about sticking this dude over here, or I don't like him because he's black or he's brown. You know, you're into what you're doing.
When I'm working with the clay, I get a feeling of I'm just totally relaxed. I'm into my own thing. I'm just expressing, you know, what I feel, and it lets it lets me listen to my thoughts, and all my insides feel good.
I do art because I love art. I love to draw. I have a TV, which I very seldom watch. I'd rather draw than I'll turn on the TV and listen to it and draw, like I'm doing now. And it's hard to get a hold of paper. Paper's the hardest thing there is to get a hold of. And I've had guys come up to me and offer me cigarettes for paper because they couldn't get it, and they couldn't get those repeatograph pens. They're like gold in here. I could sell one for $25, man, just one pen. But they cost $19.60 a piece for each pen. And it's expensive, and the guy can't afford that, you know. I mean, if you got a good pen over here, the average is $17 or something, it'd take you a month's pay just to buy one pen. And we need some kind of program where the people can get supplies. The guys got the hidden talents in here. A lot of guys got hidden talents in here that they can't come forward because they don't have the supplies.
When I came here, there was no formal teaching classes being held. Everybody was very secretive about what they knew as far as hobby went. I mean, it was the way they made their money, so they weren't anxious to share it. They didn't want to give it up. And I was very frustrated because I was an artist that wanted to learn, I needed to grow, and I couldn't get anybody to teach me anything. So we formed an art guild, myself and 3 other men. This is the first mural project that was created by the Art Guild back in 1973. The one that was funded by the Arts Council with the cooperation of Eloise Smith. We decided that we wanted to re-beautify our community, and that the place we wanted to start was where our family visited with us. She thought it was rather unique that a group of convicts had approached the council and asked for funds to re-beautify their community, because we looked at where we lived as a community.
I find that the arts, by and large, at least the way we've tried to introduce them, they're things that people really want to do.
Through our association with her and her efforts, we were just able to grow and expand beyond our wildest dreams. Prison is like a small community outside. You've got kind of a melting pot of people. Like T here is from Tahiti, and Steve is from Los Angeles. Nate over there is from Minnesota. I'm originally from Oklahoma. T has done some of the most striking paintings of any of the guys up here. How do you feel about this class, T?
It's even helped me to know myself. I didn't even realize it, that the moods I'd gone into it. I got amazed by it so many times. When I look it up, I says, well, that's really me. That's weird, you know. But it comes out. Nevertheless, it does come out. And this is why the art project is it's something to, I don't know, I like it. I depend on it. It's like a crave.
It's like a what?
I crave for food. It's a food that feeds you inside and feeds the mind.
It's more than art. It's therapy. It's the best kind of therapy that there is, because it's the only kind that these people truly care about, that they want to do.
When I get through doing this hitch, I'll have close to 15 years in. And out of that whole time, I was in some war camps down there around Soledad. And I would pack my knives and run around with the bad guys, and we all did our little things. And I tell you, I'd much rather be packing these paints and these paintbrushes than a shank any day. I feel a lot better while I'm doing this than I did down there. And I think maybe we need a lot more stuff like this here going on than just throwing guys in a hole and letting them live like animals. Because that's how I felt most of my life, like I was an animal. And it took a lot of my own self to realize, well, I'm not an animal, I'm a man, and I got feelings like other human beings. That's how I feel. This class has given me a lot of opportunity to learn something that I've been wanting to do for a long time.
One of the first classes I held at North Facility, there was a man who came in and picked up the guitar during one of the breaks, and I looked over and saw him playing, and after a while went over to listen, and I found he was playing the guitar really well, playing bar chords up and down the neck, which is a fairly complex activity. I asked him where he learned how to play the guitar, and he had built a cardboard guitar neck in his cell and drawn the strings and the frets onto it, and bought a couple books of guitar chords and practiced that way. And in telling the story once, I said he was my Zen guitarist. Learned how to play the guitar without the sound.
When a human being gets interested in something which gives them ownership of their accomplishment, they end up having much more of an appreciation for everything else around them. And I don't think that's Pollyanna. I think every person that you can look at has that experience, is that when they feel good about themselves, they feel good about other people, and they have more respect for them. And that's what we're talking about. Respect for the law and respect for what it feels like to be someone who is a victim of crime.
When we have an art show, they have a judging in different ceramics, wood, whatever. They have judging in, the last 3 shows I got first place with jewelry, and which is pretty good. You know, it gives you kind of an incentive to get going and try a little harder for the next show.
If the men can have jewelry classes in the penitentiaries, I don't see why the women can't and why it can't keep going. We do lost wax casting, and we do the Indian-style handcraft. Everything is hand-filed, hand-cut, all handwork, hand-soldered. Everything is from scratch, from very scratch. So these girls have been cutting their stones on hand on little rocks by hand, old Indian-style, real pioneers. Look at, pull that little rock up right there, that round, half round. See, we're using that. And we all run around here licking the rocks. That's the only way that you can tell the beautiful colors. Yeah, we all run around. I taught them that that's how you do. You lick the rocks. I parole next month, but I'm leaving a couple of real good apprentices that have really learned real well. And I'm real proud of that fact. And these are lifers and long-termers.
I'm here on a 15 to life sentence, right? And my job, like I only work in the morning for about 4 hours. So then that left me the rest of the afternoon with nothing to do. Nothing.
You know, it's very easy when you're bored You have nothing better to do to just find things to get into, you know.
You know, you might see one of your partners jump off into a fight, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to act. And your reaction is going to be just to help them out in whatever way you can, you know. And being in here, I'm not out there. I hear about it later on. Maybe so, you know, when my friends, one of my partners got into a beef out there, but I'm not involved in it. Just indirectly, only by hearing about it.
There are good things here. It's your input. Whatever you put into it, you're going to get out of it. And by a long shot, I'm not no preacher. I'm not no goody-goody at all. I'm terrible. But the fact remains that this is the best way for me to do my time, like this. And I think that might be the reason why I may be walking on the day I'm supposed to. I may be paroling on the day I'm supposed to. I know that had everything to do with it, really.
Ceramics class. We have a lady that comes in and teaches ceramics once a week. We have a lady that's doing a video class, and their project is to make a video about the prison to reassure their children.
Kids come here to visit, and they may be coming here for years and never really know what this place looks like beyond the visiting gate. So we want to say that your mothers are all right. You know, don't worry about them, but we also want to be saying, this isn't a place you want to come.
We have some inmates teaching classes. Edith teaches a jewelry class. We have another lady that teaches a drawing class. And we have another one that teaches a watercolor class. We have a creative writing class going now. We have a dance class.
I teach a cross-section of modern dance techniques, including Falco, Limon, and Graham, and some ballet technique. So little means so much to them, and just hearing live music and getting a chance to move to it in a semi-structured way, and with a group, so there's a group feeling and a group energy happening, is, I think, very exciting. It's very exciting for me.
Being involved in music, in the arts, or any kind of recreational activity gives these people something to do. Now put your second finger on the 3rd string at the 4th fret. And put your first finger 3rd fret right where it is. Play that chord. Don't play your first string. You learn a new chord, that's an A11.
When I first came to Soledad, there was no music program. There was virtually no music program at all. And all that existed was a few instruments that were pretty battered and a few musicians that were pretty frustrated. And Prison Arts Project came in and brought some instruments in, brought a music teacher in, a fine music teacher, and sort of coordinated all the musicians and facilitated a music program there.
When we've taken all we can, will it fill us with the things that matter? Will we find the one we've never known? When we've taken all we can, when we've taken all we can.
My purpose here tonight is to make a demo tape of some material that was written at Soledad by myself and my former cell partner, and that was a result of the Prison Arts Project at Soledad. And music is nothing more than a creative outlet. The writing, the playing, the whole spectrum, any kind of art is a creative outlet. And I think that if people in Soledad and any prison would have realized their potential and had a vent for creativity, maybe they wouldn't even be there in the first place.
One of the things in our program that we try to encourage is sharing. If a guy can play, has knowledge, why, he shares it with someone else.
Ooh, with you I want to share. Ooh, with you I want to share. Ooh, with you I want to share. Love and prayer. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
On the other hand, the sharing thing makes them feel good. You know, they've accomplished something, they've done something. There's that togetherness thing. And we help one another. When we move equipment, everybody moves it, you know, put it back. We very rarely lose anything anymore because everybody wants this program to continue going. And of course, it is going. It's going very well. In spite of the fact that we're going into lockdown situation here, the guys really want to come out.
Recidivism rate as far as someone coming back to the pen is the musicians is going to be real low. Yeah. You know, we're not going to come back.
Since I've been employed here at San Quentin, I found that the gentlemen that have been involved with the art program, the arts and crafts program here, I've found that these people are easier to deal with. They have an outlet. They're not so tight and tense inside. The tension is released in a constructive way, and that's not destructive. It's not negative. And if a person has nothing to do and you have all this energy running inside of you and most of it's negative, then you're going to have problems, and then you're going to have destruction of property. You're going to have all sorts of things that would cause taxes to go up.
Of course, you know, there is a question about is it economically feasible? And I think as being fiscally responsible, we have to answer questions like that. And I would say over the long haul, yes. I think that if we weigh the money that we spend in having inmates work in pottery or photography or music or poetry against what it costs us to fix the broken windows and the toilets they tear out and that kind of thing, I think from the inside it pays off. On the outside, I think it pays off in that they've increased their self-esteem. They've had to practice discipline. I think it's really a good way to get the work ethic started.
If we don't have that program and we hit that gate and hit the streets, it's all about going back to what you used to do to get over. You know what I mean? Times are rough out there. They know that. It's even harder out there since we left. You know what I mean? But when we get back out there and we ain't got nothing for ourselves, you know, this program gives us something to do, you know? And we ain't got nothing for ourselves.
Once a person is off parole, they're none of our business. And I don't think they should be any of our business. But a lot of these people communicate back to us. And some of them say very pointedly, the reason I made it through my time and the reason I'm making it here, it's not because I'm an artist, but because being an artist in prison gave me the kinds of skills I needed.
Okay, first of all, my prison history started when I was 14 years old. Well, it wasn't prison at that time, but it was, you know, reform school and all that. And so that pattern, that was my life pattern up until I got released in 1977. But in 1973, there was like a change in me. You know, it wasn't like a conscious change, like I didn't trying to be a good guy or nothing like that, but like that style of living wasn't mine anymore. And so there was a void like in my life, because here I am with all this time and I'm not interested in what's going on around there anymore, you know? And so I decided to do something creative. And poetry is one thing that I had always admired, even though at that time I hardly understood it. And I just decided to start writing poetry and become a poet, and I just jumped into it.
It's a very difficult thing to keep human beings incarcerated like this, and you've got to find something constructive for these people to do while they are here, because otherwise you have nothing but a bomb that is ready to explode at any time.
We're in big trouble in the department with idleness amongst inmates.
What Arts and Corrections does is that it reinforces the kind of motivation and self-discipline that society expects from responsible individuals.
A lot of people say, why, you want to provide art in our prisons? Why, they have too many color TV sets and too many luxuries there now. We should give them more beans and water. I would just ask people, do you want persons who are sent to our state institutions, do you want them released in a form with no improvement or more violent than they went in?
90% of all people in prison will one day be released. The public has a vested interest in seeing to it that those men and women emerge with confidence in themselves and a positive attitude towards society. Men and women in prison discover through art an unexpected power in themselves, the ability to create. They find that it meets an unrecognized need, satisfies an appetite. In the words of one prisoner, a crave. Art programs suggest ways in which the experience of punishment can also be an experience of the restoration of humanness.